Less than 10 hours for Lost Sword to be finally live globally with the new servers, which are going to be NA, EU, global, and of course the current one, the one we're playing in, the Korean server. So I want to talk a little bit about the day one tier list from the perspective of someone who has every single character, has pushed most content, and it's on endgame from a while already. Before we start, it's important to also understand that the meta for global is the meta for Korea. It's the same application, it's the same APK, the same state of the game. The banner we're getting tomorrow on Korea is the first banner for global as well, and also for NA. So that said, before we start, hello the internet, welcome back to the Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. Today's topic, tier list for day one on Lost Sword. There is a few things that I want to go through. Of course, leave a like, subscribe, help me grow the channel, and we are going to be live when the games goes up, answering any questions you guys might have. But I do want to go over most of the tiers, explaining why the characters are there and what characters could be up or down depending on some situations. So let's jump directly to T0, which is going to be, of course, the strongest characters in the game currently. Starting with the two strongest DPSs, Lancelot and Tiamat. These two girls are by far the strongest damage dealers. Tiamat is a wizard that will spam her active skill and her ultimate, really good damage, really high base crit chance. She basically is built with crit. And then you have Lancelot, a melee and knight that is built around HP. The more HP that she gets via pets, buffs, gear, etc., the more damage she deals. And they are both pretty even out depending on the investment, on the team, on the pets, etc. Those two are the strongest damage dealers by far. Lisa and Merlin are on a different situation. Merlin is a really good support hybrid, so she is basically half DPS, half support. She provides crit chance for the team, attack, and she freezes on both her active skill and her ultimate. Really good utility. The character coming tomorrow should be Merlin on crack. She also has CC, she heals, gives crit chance, gives attack, gives lifesteal. It's crazy. So we'll see tomorrow how good Neoba is, but most likely the first banner is a T0 already. When we talk about Lisa, it's a little bit different. Lisa is what would be a T0.5. She is better than the characters at T1, but she is worse in damage output than Lancelot and Tiamat. So she's on that in-between category. She's still fantastic DPS. You guys like her. She's a great pick to go with and also a good wife, as you can see. And then, of course, the other two characters in here are support characters. Galahad is a support for Ranger and Wizards. Diane is a support for melee characters. That's like the TLDR, of course there's a lot more things going on, but I don't want this video to be 40 minutes long, so I'll keep it short for most characters. Remember that when the game drops as well, if you have questions on how to build your characters, you can click on them on the tier list, go to stats, and you'll be able to see all the stats for every single character in the game. Most of them should be updated. Of course, if there's anything missing, do let me know, and I'll fix it pretty fast. That's it, that is T0. Let's go about a T1. What are the characters here? Why are they T1? What's the difference between a T0 and a T1? And it's mostly usage for overall content. Most of the characters at T1, you will see them used almost everywhere. You will see them on raids, you will see them on Avalon, which is guild raids. You will be seeing them on endgame, depending on the element of the enemies. But they are not characters that are a staple in those teams. No matter what you're doing, you will see Diane or Galahad, or Lancelot or Tiamat, one of those two combinations, right? So that's like the biggest difference as to why they are T0 or T1. On T1, there are a few characters that I can say you can look out for. First of all, it's going to be Lua Ran. This is a really good combination. Lua applies shock constantly, and Ran deals more damage based on if the enemies are shocked or not. Ran needs investment in order to shine, but they are a really good combination, and the current meta for example, bosses weak to Electro. That said, you also have a couple really good tanks in this category. One is Kay, she's a tank DPS, a hybrid, really good one. For the most part, she will only see usage on stages where the Galahad has elemental disadvantage. So when there is enemies that are plant, you will not be using Galahad and you will be switching to something like Kay or even Isabel. Isabel is an interesting one. So first of all, she's a really good DPS, a ranger DPS, but she can also be used as a tank because of her immunity, her passive. There is already a guide on the website explaining this tech. People use this to push campaign depending on what you have, so I would recommend you guys read that guide. But she can be used both as a ranger and also as a tank, which is pretty funny. Notable characters for this category as well would be Rhea. She is a pure support character, also heals with basic attacks. You also have Erin, a fantastic buffer. She is mostly used for raids. She is meta for all of the raids, but outside of raids, for pushing hard and Helmut, it's harder to see her. And then you also have Guinevere. She is the free healer. She was buffed recently, is a lot better now. So it's worth actually using her, since not only she is free, but is also a great healer. Something important to take into consideration for healers, by the way, in case you start playing, is that healers cannot crit. I'll make a separate video with beginner tips, going over a lot of stuff, but one of them is healers cannot crit, so do not build them with crit because it's gonna be useless. That said, that's like the TLDR for T1. Both Christina and Catherine are characters used for elemental teams, aka for burn or for freeze, but only for specific bosses. They are good, but only on specific bosses. That is the tier 1. Then you have the tier 2 and the tier 3. Tier 3, I'm not gonna even mention. They are just underwhelming characters, not worth leveling up or using unless, of course, you have nothing else. Tier 2 is niche, and it depends what you're doing. So, for example, Joanne was recently buffed for HP teams, like, for example, running your Lancelot. Morgaus can be used on those fire burn teams, but again, she's kind of weaker in contrast to the other DPSs. Percival is the free tank you will be getting. I think she's free. I don't remember actually. I think she's the free tank everyone gets, and she is like a good option only at the beginning. The best two characters in this T2 category that are truly fillers, actually three, would be Enya for bosses, would be Claire for the tech where you use Isabel. People also use Claire, because when Claire is about to die, she will stun everyone in the other team. This can have a lot of uses, not only on PvP, but also on PvE. And then lastly, Tristan. Tristan is a great character, but sadly, nowadays, she is only used as a CC unit to apply root to specific enemies or bosses. But that's like about it, honestly. There is not a lot more to go through. I don't want to be making this video too long, just showing you guys like what characters are the best ones and why they are there. Personally, the banner coming tomorrow, it's called Neo Bediver. This is a character that most likely will be meta. This is again a Merlin on crack, so if you're a new player and you start playing and you pull on this banner and get it a couple times, absolutely keep going for her. I would recommend you guys go at least for 3 dupes, so just like this here, go into +3, because that will give you +1 skill level and 40% extra stats, which for an archer is gonna be really big, right? If you are lucky and wanna keep going, up to you. That's it, that is gonna be it for the day 1 tier list. Once again, everything's on the website with plenty of guides if you guys need a specific help with more stuff. There is a lot of content to go through, and not only here, but also on our Discord. Feel free to ask any questions. We will be live tomorrow when the game goes up. Don't forget to subscribe to get notified when that happens. Good luck with your pool data rates, and I'll see you in the next one.